It's been a very interesting bank holiday weekend, which has seen more two-tier governing and two-tier policing going on. That's because, of course, the Notting Hill Carnival was back in town, which, to say the least, was just chaos. We will take a look at the final crime toll from it, whilst also seeing what Nigel Farage has said to Keir Starmer as he blasts him and his two-tier governing once again. But as always, guys, hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. Nigel Farage has called on Sir Keir Starmer to condemn assaults after partygoers were stabbed at Notting Hill Carnival. A 32-year-old mother was among the victims left fighting for her life after sustaining stab wounds just before 6 p.m. on Sunday. Another 7 people were stabbed, with as many as 50 police officers also injured. The Metropolitan Police subsequently arrested 334 people, including 3 in connection with the woman stabbed on Sunday. Responding to the spate of arrests, Farage asked, "Will Keir Starmer condemn the 37 assaults on emergency workers at Notting Hill Carnival?" Zia Yusuf, who is looking to professionalise the populist party as Reform UK's chairman, added, "London deserves better than the disgraceful scenes that unfolded this week at Notting Hill Carnival. We note the total lack of political condemnation from Labour leaders." Criticisms of Starmer came after the Prime Minister vowed to take on far-right protesters after a series of violent protests across England and Northern Ireland just a few weeks ago. Speaking in Downing Street's Rose Garden earlier today, Starmer doubled down on his condemnation of the thugs. He said, "We've seen shocking scenes across the nation, a mindless minority of thugs who thought they could get away with causing chaos, smashing up communities and terrifying minorities, vandalizing and destroying people's property, even trying to set fire to a building with human beings inside it, and as if that wasn't despicable enough, people displaying swastika tattoos, shouting racist slurs on our streets. Nazi salutes at the cenotaph, the very place we honour those who gave their lives for this country, desecrating their memory under the pretense, and it is a pretense, of legitimate protest. Now they're learning that crime has consequences. I will not tolerate a breakdown in law and order under any circumstances. And I will not listen to those who exploit grieving families and disrespect communities. But these riots didn't happen in a vacuum. They exposed the state of our country, revealed a deeply unhealthy society, the cracks in our foundation laid bare, weakened by a decade of division and decline, infected by a spiral of populism, which fed off a cycle of failure of the last government." Reform UK Assembly member Alex Wilson also weighed in on Notting Hill Carnival by calling for Starmer to launch a similar clampdown on troublemakers. Wilson, who was elected on the London-wide ticket in 2024, called for Notting Hill partygoers who were arrested to face as harsh a treatment as rioters from July 30th to August 5th. He said, "As I saw on my visit yesterday, for the majority of attendees, Notting Hill Carnival is an important cultural celebration with a huge effort going into creating a spectacle for many Londoners to enjoy. Unfortunately, as with recent years, this year's event was again marred by several incidents of serious violence. 8 stabbings were reported, some resulting in life-threatening injuries. 67 weapons were seized, including 2 firearms. 97 police and emergency workers were assaulted while simply doing their job of keeping carnival goers safe. That a mother was stabbed in front of her child on Sunday, traditionally a day focused on children and families, is particularly appalling. The Metropolitan Police deployed over 7,000 officers, costing the taxpayer in excess of £11 million, a significant strain on London's police resources. Dealing with an event of this magnitude is far from easy, and I extend my heartfelt thanks and full support to the Metropolitan Police and all emergency workers for their dedicated efforts at this year's carnival. I wish a speedy recovery for all emergency workers injured in the line of duty. We have seen the justice system respond rapidly and decisively to unrest earlier this month, and trust an equivalent approach will be brought to bear on those arrested for serious offences this weekend. Recurring violence at Notting Hill Carnival must prompt a discussion on public safety and the policing strategies required for such a large-scale public event going forward. The Mayor needs to urgently get a grip on London's growing knife crime epidemic to prevent further tragedies in future. Speaking yesterday, Deputy Assistant Commissioner Ada Delican, who is in charge of the policing operation for the event, claimed officers very narrowly avoided a fatality, and were tired of seeing crime scenes at the street party. Calling for carnival goers to report crime, Adelican said, "Yesterday we saw the first day marred by unacceptable violence. 3 people were stabbed, and we only very narrowly avoided a fatality." In other news, 2 men have been charged with murder following a house fire in Bradford, which killed a mother and her 3 children. Mohammed Shabir, 44, and Callum Sunderland, 25, have both been charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder over the blaze, West Yorkshire Police have said. The pair will appear at Bradford Magistrates Court on Wednesday, while 4 other people remain under investigation, including a 39-year-old man who was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder. A police statement on Tuesday evening said that another suspect, a 36-year-old man arrested on Friday on suspicion of murder and attempted murder, has been interviewed and released on conditional bail. The force added that a 54-year-old woman and 42-year-old man arrested on Monday on suspicion of assisting an offender have also been interviewed and released on bail. Bryony Gowith, 29, and her 3 children, Dennisty Birtle, 9, Oscar Birtle, 5, and Aubrey Birtle, just 22 months old, died after their home on Westbury Road, Bradford, was deliberately set alight in the early hours of Wednesday, August 21st. Emergency services had descended on a property on the street after the fire service alerted police to the nature of the blaze just after 2 a.m. Gowith was tragically pronounced dead at the scene, the force said, while her 3 children all died in hospital. Donald Trump has threatened to drop out of a scheduled TV debate with Kamala Harris after her team asked for hot mics to be kept on throughout the event. Harris's top campaigners had asked organizers at US network ABC News to keep the microphones running all evening, in the hope that they could catch Trump out if he says anything controversial under his breath. But after it emerged that Team Kamala had been pushing channel execs to keep the audio equipment on, Trump reacted with fury. The Republican nominee accused ABC of being biased and asked, "Why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network?" One senior Harris aide, Brian Fallon, told Politico, "We have told ABC and other networks seeking to host a possible October debate that we believe both candidates' mics should be live throughout the full broadcast. Our understanding is that Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own. But Trump advisors have pushed for consistency, asking for the debate to be staged under the same conditions as the CNN event, which ultimately derailed Joe Biden's run for re-election on June 27th. Jason Miller from Trump's campaign team said, "Enough with the games. We accepted the ABC debate under the exact same terms as the CNN debate." He also accused Harris's campaigners of looking for a way to get out of any debate and drew attention to her lack of interview appearances since accepting the Democratic nomination. Miller told Politico, "This seems to be a pattern for the Harris campaign. They won't allow Harris to do interviews, they won't allow her to do press conferences, and now they want to give her a cheat sheet for the debate." The terms for the June debate had been agreed upon under a very different set of circumstances to now, when Biden's team had tried to constrain both candidates within strict time limits over fears Trump would speak over Biden. But now, Trump faces a younger candidate, unburdened by Biden's stutter and propensity for verbal gaffes. Harris's campaigners believe Trump, if allowed to speak unrestricted, wouldn't go down as well with viewers as their pick for president. The upcoming ABC debate is the only one to which both candidates have yet agreed, but in a social media tirade, Trump has cast doubt on his attendance. He wrote, "I watched ABC fake news this morning, both lightweight reporter Jonathan Karl's ridiculous and biased interview, and their so-called panel of Trump haters, and I ask, why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network? They've got a lot of questions to answer. Why did Harris turn down Fox, NBC, CBS, and even CNN? Stay tuned." What are your thoughts on Keir Starmer? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. Take care. Goodbye.